Chase Tree and Tractor Service with 25 years of experience in tree removal. Serving the Midcoast of Maine, licensed and insured Maine arborist, whether it's a pesky blowdown or a hard-to-get tree that needs removal. When you need an experienced professional, Jake Chase is the man for the job. Call 207-242-8961 or email him at chasetreeandtractorservice.jc@gmail.com.
LCTV is your nonprofit community media station. Please donate at lctv.org to keep us strong. Thank you.
One, two, three, four. Well, I've been holding in since the clock came Monday morning. From the end of the week, I'm bound to blow. Breeze walking to the honky-tonk like a pack of wolves now. Order up around the shops and it's away we go.
Well, welcome everybody. We got a half hour of the most exciting time during the week of Wuzzup. My friend Mike Hall is here. Larry's down in Arizona checking out the sunshine, and I just got back from the Caribbean, and so everybody's searching for sun.
Right.
So anyway, so Mike's very, very knowledgeable in Lincoln County. And what strikes you on the front page this week, Mike?
Well, I think the first thing that struck me is I was really happy to see the article on Will Dow and see the continuation of a family.
Mike's a Waldeboro guy, by
business.
the way.
I'm a local Waldeboro guy.
Yeah.
And I took my family business over, and but to see Will continue the Dow legacy, and our families go back with the Dows many, many years, and just to see his pride for his work, but also for community. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of young people leave and then come back, and he went off to college and got his degrees and decided to come back, and he's doing a great job. And he talks about how he loves helping people buy pieces of furniture that, you know, because it's going to go in their home, and that's a place where it's a place of refuge for people, and he wants to make that nice.
He's like a furniture trivia guy.
Yeah.
He can go into your house, look at a piece of furniture, and tell you the make, the year it was made, and, you know.
Exactly. I
that's
think my
cool.
grandfather sold you that.
Yeah, right. Anyway, and he's a furniture history guy. So anyway,
so it's just nice to see that continuation.
Yeah, that is cool.
Business,
that is cool. John Riley, I'll tell you, Jonathan Riley's been pulling some. So characters of the county, he's been pulling them out of the woodwork.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, and not everybody agree to do it.
No.
You know, you can talk to Jonathan about that. He asked a lot of people to do it, but no. Leave me out of the limelight.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
So anyway,
so that was good.
So Alna's got they got some construction going up there, and the other thing is the transmission lines are now.
Right.
They've started the transmission lines, and then there was a big brouhaha, and now, of course, everything goes to court.
That's
and
right.
now, of course, it's all resolved, so they're back at that, and I think
right.
it's 26 miles, I think.
It's a long stretch, and, you know, if you're over in that Alna, Dresden area, and I use the rabbit path every once in a while, but it looks like I probably will have to not go there because it's going to be tied up with construction.
They're going to do some serious damage to that road.
Yeah.
I mean, they're planning, the residents are already saying, you know, you're going to have to rebuild this road because
that's right.
Rabbit Path isn't it's not a super highway.
No, it is not.
Yeah,
no. So it's obviously it's change, and it's disruption, and it's just, you know, unless you live on the road, you don't really maybe notice it. But if you live in it, you know, it's going to be altering.
I don't know what it's going to be up in Windsor, Whitefield, Alna. I don't know what the impact is at those other two towns, but certainly Alna is being impacted.
Oh, definitely, no question.
So the other cool article here, Mike, was that community resource officer Scott Solorzano.
Yes.
He's resource officers, we talked off camera, to me and Michael, that's a very important component to schools these days, you
Absolutely.
know? Because there's so much stuff going on that you can't really talk to other students or your teachers or anything like that. Right. And these resource officers, what they do is they develop a relationship with the students. And they, you know, I said to Mike that, you know, to have kids shouldn't be scared of police officers, as they usually are.
Right.
But anyway, and they also brought up the fact that this resource officer, they're dressing him down.
That's right.
He's not going to be in the full garb.
Right.
You know, because it's it's kind of scary to have a police officer walk up to you and say, "Hi, how are you?"
Exactly. Yeah, and I know Scott personally. He's a great guy. He's a great community person, and as you said, kids. Kids need some direction. You know, and they may not have it, but they can know that if they can feel comfortable with Scott, which I know they will, they can share and maybe get some assistance if they need it, or just share. Some of their thoughts and feelings, and maybe get some help. So
it sounds like, I tell you, Rand Maker and Todd Brown, it sounds like they're excited about using him. They have a lot of confidence in him.
Absolutely. Yeah. No. So that's definitely an asset to the Lincoln County. Absolutely.
Yep. And then we got Edgecombe. They got a 3. We talked off camera. I mean, school budgets are, that's a funky, finicky issue.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, Edgecombe Eddy School, they have 103 kids.
Right.
103 kids, $3.76 million.
Right.
How do you justify it? But when you start breaking it down, it's not hard to spend that money.
No, it isn't. And we talked, the societal costs of not educating kids and as I say, raising all ships is far greater. So education is important, and no matter where you come from, somewhere, someplace, your parents, your grandparents were paying for your kids or my kids, and so it's our responsibility as a community to help out. It is hard to understand sometimes, but we've got to help the next generations, because by helping them, it's going to help all of us, but it's tough. You've got a lot of.
It doesn't take much to. We talked off camera. I mean, you get 8 or 10 special ed kids out of 103. It doesn't take much to tweak that budget.
Right.
It's going to affect the budget like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, and I know the other thing they talked about as far as what towns get help from the state. And it's a lot about land values and things, and it sounds like it needs the playing field needs to be leveled a little bit to help get some more financial help for the town of Edgecombe.
So anyway, the other thing is ongoing, the sexual abuse case that's up at Kiev.
Right.
That we'll see more and more about this. Probably be settled out of court. But anyway, Sam Kennedy, the director, is addressing the issue. They're facing it head on.
Yes.
And we'll see how that transpires.
Yep.
Well, how about for you, Mike? I mean, you travel Route 32.
I do.
Yeah, Route 32 is reopened. The Hager boys have been up there filling in some.
Yeah, I know one of my employees lives down that way, and she's very pleased that 32 is open, because it's without it, you don't realize it until you use it.
Yep.
So she was very pleased to know that was back in order, and there's still a lot of work, obviously, from all the storm damage we've had all over,
Yep. So the other thing is, well, you're probably familiar with the Waldoboro transfer station. Dumps are an important component of small towns.
They are.
They take care of your trash.
Right.
It's a social event.
Right.
It's a business connection.
Exactly.
People. I know people. I mean, I'm a real estate broker. I know people that go to the dump 2 or 3 times a week when they really only have to go once.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so
exactly.
you might get that listing at the dump or whatever, but I understand. You must know John.
I know John well. Yeah,
John Daigle. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
And 40 years he's been at the dump.
Yeah. And John, as you read in the article, I mean, this is the 3rd go around for him.
Yeah.
To basically say, look, our budget is going up and up and up, and it's because people aren't recycling. And what I found interesting was it's actually the younger people that aren't recycling as much as the older people.
Right.
Which I was kind of surprised by that, but basically John's 3rd attempt here, say, look, we've got to do a pay as you go. Special bags.
They try to pay as you go, right? At one time?
No,
they never tried.
No. He's brought it up.
He was proponent for it.
He brought it up and it got shot down.
Yeah.
So if they can get this started, obviously it can be an inconvenience depending on how you look at it,
Right.
if you're a recycler or not, but ultimately it will encourage people to recycle because it will lower their cost versus if they don't recycle, then they're going to have to pay.
Right.
But 85% of their budget is because people are just throwing their garbage and not recycling.
Correct.
So they've got to bring it down maybe to 50-50. Would help save some money.
I know, Nobleboro Transfer Facility serves about 5 towns.
Yeah.
I know at one time, I was talking to Dick Spear a little bit about this, but there's a situation where you can just throw your trash away and the canisters go to a facility and they're sorted there.
Oh.
So that's another issue that is a possibility.
Yeah.
That you sort at, you don't sort. You sort at another facility. It goes on a conveyor belt, and they sort that way. But John's a hardworking guy, and I'm sure he'll get to the bottom of it.
Yeah. Experience. That's what he has. And we should listen to him definitely.
All right, Mike. We covered the first page. How about this guy, this Chats for Champions at the library? They always bring in some interesting guy. John Kutch is his name. He was doing a chemistry project in his backyard.
Right.
And he had some type of a small explosion and it blinded him.
Okay.
And so that's why he's been a proponent for seeing eye dogs and making blind people, making the life of a blind person easier.
That's right.
So anyway, he's going to be speaking at Chats for Champions. That's going to be Thursday, March 14th at Shidamfa. And what else going on? Camp Mamachog up there at Coastal Rivers. They're just about. It says here that they just about sold out for next summer, and Camp Mamachog is all about being outside, dealing with nature, familiarizing yourself with the area, what natural wonders are in the area.
Exactly.
And so anyway.
No, it's a good outlet for kids and getting them into nature and getting them off technology. And kind of exploring our natural resources, which is great.
Well, how about to put it, getting them outside?
Yeah.
Larry and I talk about that all the time. Get the kid outside.
That's right.
Anyway, put 500 ring dings on top of a hill and tell them, get them outside.
I know our parents probably sent us to a room.
Yeah.
Now
was punishment.
Now the punishment. That was punishment. Now it's punishment. Go outside, kids.
Yeah. If you don't, I could hear your mother right now, Mike. If you don't come in, I'm going to send you to your room.
Yeah, exactly.
That was punishment.
That's right.
Isn't that funny? I never thought about that.
It is interesting, isn't it?
St. Patrick's Church, they got a St. Patty's Day dinner. They got a band called the Murphy Family. How interesting, that name Murphy. And
that's interesting.
So anyway, it's going to be. They've had it for years.
They have a
64-year tradition of St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, and a great feed with it, so you can hear some great music and dance and have some good food.
Yeah, actually, Mike and I will be up at George and Susan Mason's on St. Patrick's Day. My friend Adam Ezra is going to play an acoustic show, folks. We're going to allow 70 people. If you can get a ticket for that, adamezra.com. I would recommend it. But anyway.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So we got a sip and stroll. Sip and stroll. To me, sip and stroll is, that's the sophisticated word for bar hopping.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
When I was doing it, it was called bar hopping. But Sip and Stroll is coming to the Keller Williams office, and Maya Goslin is a wine connoisseur, and she's going to give a little lecture on some wines, and that's going to be going on Thursday, March 14th as well.
Absolutely. No.
You know Ryan? Do you know Matthew Ryan?
I know him a little, but obviously he was named as Deputy of the Year, which that speaks volumes for him.
Yeah.
And I know he's done a lot for the community, and Todd Brackett, Sheriff Brackett, has honored him, and I know the department's proud, and it's just you know, I think there's a lot of energy for the department, as we talked about, with the resource officer, and really trying to get out and be a help to the community, not necessarily, you know, chasing bad guys, so to speak. So,
it's more of relationship development is so big now in law enforcement.
It is,
you know,
that's
and,
right.
You know, not that we deal with gangs or anything like that, but in the big cities, the cops, they want to walk into the middle of these gangs and say, "Hey, how are you?" You know,
right? At least have a familiar face.
Yeah.
Right? Absolutely.
So anyway, how about this poor guy? What was his name? Jack Duncan. 19-year-old kid. He was driving up Route 95. He was going to a class,
right?
And he got in a car accident, and he's pretty banged up.
Yeah. I guess he was one of several accidents that day. I guess it was icy, black ice.
Icy strip. They said maybe 20 cars involved.
You know. So I know there's a huge outpouring of support for him and his family as he heads to the road to recovery, you know, and obviously, you know, we want him to come back and get back to school.
Yes, we do.
Pursue his, you know, his vocation. So.
Yep. So we got the Winter Sports Award at Wiscasset High School. It's been going on. What's Wiscasset? They finally they won a basketball game.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. Yeah, I have to say, I give a shout out to all the athletes and teams this winter. You know, there was a lot of successes.
A lot of excitement this winter.
It really was.
You know,
and you know, we had championship wrestlers and some really exciting basketball teams that went quite a ways locally, and it was good competition. And further into the paper, you see the younger generations of kids who are going to continue that. So,
boy, I'll tell you, that Waldeboro's got it's like the crops keep coming with athletes.
Oh, I know.
It's
I don't
unbelievable.
know what it is.
6th grade teams, champions, 8th grade teams.
Yep.
So
part of that's Nick DePatsy. You know,
sure.
He kind of follows the old Art Dyer methodology, where you know you've got to start the kids young and
it's almost
work
like
them up.
it's almost like a pecking order. You got Nick at the top, pumping up the 6th grade coach, the 8th grade coach. You know,
exactly.
So anyway,
that's right.
They get the kids excited about it.
No question. No question.
Anyway, we talked a little bit about the homelessness. Well, they're mentioning the Waldeboro area, and there's like, you know, child homelessness. You know, there was like, I don't know, 89 kids or 80 kids or something like that. But there's now a homeless and a mental health coordinator, Nancy Stover. She's got a whole group of people together talking about homelessness on February 29th, and I think it's opening the eyes of a lot of people, this
absolutely.
issue.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know it. Yeah. You didn't know it.
I didn't realize.
And we're connected.
I didn't realize it was to that level.
Magnitude, It was, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
I know that motel deal up there, the yellow motel up there, the Yankee Traveler.
Yes, right.
You know, and, you know, I don't know what's going to become of that, but he had put out a figure there to winterize each room, and maybe they were going to go that route, but I don't know.
Yeah, you know, homelessness, and you know, it all connects with food insecurity, and you know, there's a lot of people trying to help, you know, get kids, you know, basics, you know, food and shelter, and you know, the community awareness is important because, you know, as we just said, I mean, I didn't realize it was to this extent.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, we definitely need
hopefully we'll stay on top of this. How about this Jim Eaton? He's a paramedic over there, and a veteran paramedic. He's going to be running for State House District 45, which is Waldeboro, Bremen, Friendship, Louds Island, Washington, and he's throwing his hat in the ring for that one.
Yeah, I know Jim for a long time.
Yep.
You know, he lived around the corner from our family business, and he and his wife Emmy Trask Eaton are good people.
Yep.
You know, and they have I didn't realize the depth of his background, but he's obviously done quite a bit. And
well, he's made 5,000 ambulance calls.
Yes,
that's an education. Right
yeah,
there.
it is. Oh yeah, talk about firsthand knowledge of your community right there.
Yep.
Definitely, absolutely, yeah.
So the Department of Marine Resources, they're going to be hosting a listening session for aquaculture. Always interesting. Always learn something.
Right.
They are really on a push to educate the public about aquaculture and how the licensing process.
Absolutely.
And people don't realize what it entails.
Yeah, I just saw the other day on the lottery for the Elvers. There's only so many licenses.
Yeah.
And it's a lottery, because it's obviously for those that are in it. It can
16?
yeah, it was
For the
small.
whole state?
Yeah, it was a pretty small number.
Yeah.
But the gal there in Waldoboro is growing the Elvers now.
Yep.
At the old Madomic Canning Company site.
Right.
So that's good. That's helping a lot of the local economy.
South Bristol's changing their policy over there. They're going to elect. Let's see, what is it? It's going to be.
Wanna appoint
they're
people,
going to
right?
appoint town employees rather than have them elected.
Yeah, they're the only town left, I guess, in Lincoln County that does it.
Yeah. So according to Robert Clifford, he feels that they'll get better candidates if they interview them and elect them themselves.
Yeah, makes good sense.
So
that makes good sense.
anyway, not elect, appoint.
Appoint.
Yeah, appoint. The chairman at Jefferson Village School has decided to throw it in. He's going to retire. Walter Green Morris.
Moving to Virginia, I guess, is what his plan is.
Yep. So, what was the editorial about this week, Mike? It was.
The caucus.
Brackley. Matt Brackley was appointed the head of the Republican committee, and they felt that because of his history with the January 6th, that you know.
That's right.
Well, he can.
Yeah.
I like this article on Breakfast Place.
Oh, yeah.
Eric Jensen and the Jensen family.
Exactly.
They had quite a history here. They originally bought Coveside.
That's right.
And then they went up and they bought where Hunt's Kitchen Center is now. That was the Clarissa Ilsley Tavern.
That's right.
And then take it over from there, Mike. Then they went.
Oh, my gosh.
Then they went down. Well, they went to another place. Then they started the Breakfast Place. That's
right.
And Eric used to sit behind the counter there, and then there was the Olsons that bought it from him.
That's right.
And so it was quite a
I didn't realize
quite a history.
As the restaurant up where Hunt's is now, I never went there because I was a teenager. So I think my parents ate there a couple times.
Right.
Over time, always had a good meal there.
Let's see, student leaders there's a Chet Jordan Leadership Award at the Maine Community Foundation. You can apply for that, and future student leaders can get a scholarship for that. And then we're going to have there's going to be a course. Scientist David Roke's going to give a course about septic systems Saturday, March 9th at the Denny Conservation Education Center in Damariscotta. And so anyway, there's something like aquaculture. A lot of people don't know the ins and outs. It's called the ins and outs of home septic systems.
That's right.
So, anyway.
Though I'm sure you'll find there's more to it than you realize. Yep. Oh, yeah. Is there,
Midcoast Conservancy, they got some Tim Trombauer and Kristen Pennick are going to be running the show over there. They're it's going to be like a co-director.
Right. Yeah.
It's rather than have one director, it sounds like they're going to split up the duties to 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they feel maybe can be more effective and create more outreach for the Conservancy.
Now, the big question here, Mike, is because you've been around, have you ever met Marilyn Bean?
Oh, I know Marilyn well.
Okay.
I do, yes.
There you go.
Yeah, I've known her for years.
Yep.
Yeah. I first met her my dad was friends with Marilyn years
Yep.
ago, and so I've known her since I was a kid. And
Yep.
she's a very humble, very grateful person. And when you read
Very
her
spiritual.
very spiritual. You know,
Yep.
when you read her articles, you know, you can tell that. You know, and you know, Marilyn is a sweet lady, and I haven't seen her for a while, but when I do, she's living up in Union.
Correct.
But when I do talk with her, you know, she's one of those folks that, you know, you're going to sit down and you're going to have a nice conversation,
Yeah.
and you know, it's not a 10-minute talk, you know, because you know she's you know, she has a lot to talk about, and her spirituality is really important, and I'm a spiritual person as well, so I always like having time with her. So you know, it's great.
It's good insight, just because she writes every week. She never
She does.
misses.
She's faithful, isn't she?
Yeah,
Yep.
and we got we got 2 write-in candidates in South Bristol School Committee. You got, let's see, we got Sarah Mitchell. She's got she's been the committee head for 9 years now, and so we got Laura Kawaki, and Lauren Kawaki and Lauren Storch are running as write-in candidates.
Okay.
Of course, we know Warren because he owns the Walpole Barn.
Right. That's
And he said he's been thinking about it for a while. He's been thinking about being on the school committee for a while.
Okay.
So anyway,
Well, that's good. We need good people.
I don't know where Lori Crook came up with this picture, but
Oh my gosh.
these are all people. These are all your buddies.
Yeah.
You know, all these people are on the dock there.
Yeah. When I saw that, it reminded me of being a kid back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, and those are things that we did.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody had a dock
Right.
where they hung out at.
Exactly.
We had a dock in Marblehead where I grew up, Commercial Street.
Okay.
And everybody on any given day there'd be 20 kids down there
That's
hanging
right.
out.
Exactly.
So anyway, we actually had a game that we made up called Wharf Tag.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
And
All
I
right.
remember my buddy Tommy Graves could run on a chain link fence faster than anybody you could imagine.
My God. Well, Lori was saying at the end, she said she's going to get all those people and reenact the photo. So
Yeah.
I'd like to see that one.
Yeah, so we got 2, 4, 6. Anyway, so yeah, that's cool.
No, that's great. Yeah. That's a cool picture.
And we talked a little bit last week. There's a 4-H club that's going to be up and running and up at Bayer Farm. And 4-H is a good, again, get the kids outside, you know.
Exactly.
And get them with animals and farms and things like that.
That's
and,
right. Well, it's tactile, you know, you're with the animals, and it's good.
Yeah,
Definitely
we're running
good.
out of time here, Mike. We're on the sports page.
All right.
How about this kid from Madomic there? What's his name? Let's see. But anyway, his Will Rush triple jump.
Right, yeah.
46 feet on a triple jump? Is that like
Unbelievable.
outrageous?
I think it's really good.
Yeah. So he might
Yeah.
end up going to Australia. They're trying to raise some money for him.
Trying to raise some money.
Yeah.
And you know, he's a good kid, and you know, he'll have a great experience to go to there and compete internationally. You know,
Well,
so that's
anyway,
pretty cool.
we got just about wrapping things up here. I hope Larry's not. I hope he's using sunblock. As I
Right.
did. I put
You look great for being
50.
in the Caribbean, yeah.
I put 50 on. My
Smart.
sunbaking days are over.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
I want to thank you and
Thank you. Yeah, it
I'll
was
see
fun.
you.
Always fun.
See you again.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all.
Chase Tree and Tractor Service with 25 years of experience in tree removal. Serving the Midcoast of Maine, licensed and insured Maine arborist. Whether it's a pesky blowdown or a hard-to-get tree that needs removal. When you need an experienced professional, Jake Chase is the man for the job. Call 207-242-8961 or email him at chasetreeandtractorservice.jc@gmail.com.